Good morning. Today we'll discuss Robert Frost's poem Birches, its introduction, and a detailed summary of the poem. Birches is a poem that takes you into the woods and nearly up to heaven. It is one of the most popular Frost's blank verse creations and was published in 1916 in his book Mountain Interval. In the words of poet himself, Birches is, quote, two fragments soldered together, unquote. That is, he first intended that the poem will have two definite angles. One will be concentrating on ice storm bending birch branches and the other detailing the boy swinging on them. This is why Frost initially had the title of Swinging Birches, because he preferred the rhythm of the present participle, as in his other poems like Mending Wall and After Apple Picking, to kick-start his poem. Frost decided to stick to a single simple title, and as it stands, Birches became one long exploration of the speaker's relationship to the truth, split into three aspects: naturalistic, that covers the ice storm's effect on the birch trees; then the personal, that talks about the boy conquering the trees; then is the philosophical, that balances between reality and idealism. Although the majority of the poem is written in iambic pentameter, there are considerable movements away from the steady rhythm in certain lines, which we'll explore later when we'll be analyzing the poem line by line. Birches develops a subtle tension as a result of this deviation alongside meaning, the reader never really knowing if the tree branches will break and crash due to natural causes or if the boy swinging on them is pure fantasy or not. The poet tests the reader again and again, which is typical Frost, living up to his famous quote that poetry, quote, plays perilously between truth and make believe, unquote. In some respects, the poem is an extended metaphor, the birch trees representing creative life itself, their flexibility, the fragile support each person needs to strike a balance and to overcome what can be a precarious human existence. Real life can be hard, so why not escape into idealism? Transcend the mundane, swing a little. Frost chose the former, being a pragmatist, clinging to the finite, occasionally swinging but not too close to heaven. Birches explores the idea of human existence and the limits we can go to as creative, loving beings. By choosing the tree as a vehicle for potential transcendence, as a means of leaving the earth temporarily, Robert Frost has tapped into the mythological and biblical repositories where the tree is both life giver and life threatener. Having been a farmer himself, Frost will have known of this tree's qualities closely. The birch, being a pioneer of soil of limited longevity and having a feminine appearance. When a sapling, the birch is bendy and pliable. Birches has four distinct sections. It starts in the present and then moves into the past, and before revisiting the present and then again ending with future wishes, like in the line, I'd like to get away. Within the various areas of action, the speaker takes the reader on a journey of sorts, starting with the ubiquitous birches against the darker straight trees and moving on through the process of swinging, which involves ice storms, a lone boy, and lots of wishful thinking. There are some brilliant descriptive passages as the ice storm hits the trees and weighs them down. This is nature at work, making the birches bow their heads to touch the earth in a rather beautiful fashion. This is an example of great imagery and is equalled with the manner in which the boy bends the birches. The climb up analogous with that of a cup being filled to the very rim, the thrill of anticipation filling the air. The speaker contrasts the truth of natural effects with those of fantasy, of the imagination. Swinging on birches is tantamount to a risky climb up towards heaven, and if one isn't careful, something might give. In nature, it is the sun melting the ice that shatters the hopes of transcendence. A parallel with Shelley's Adonis and the many colored dome of glass, which also breaks. With these acute observations, like lessons learned, the speaker moves on and informs the reader that he would much prefer the control of a human, that is, the boy, when it comes to swinging on the birches. And so it is that the confession that the poet makes in line 41 reveals the truth. The speaker was the boy, but he is not quite done yet. The speaker wants to return to this uncertain world where heaven and earth might meet, for life sometimes becomes too painful and harsh. Does he wish for a second childhood again, or does he want to go back to challenging his father at a time when he was first becoming aware of the female existence in this world? But we should not get Frost wrong here. He doesn't want to tempt fate and end up. He is more than aware that the plane of earth is where we learn about the reality of love. In the end, there is a cooperative solution to this spiritual problem, to work with nature, with the facts that keep a person grounded and maintain a balance between what is wished for and what is already in our lives. Thank you. In our next lecture, we'll discuss the poem Birches, and I'll be explaining the lines of the poem to you. Thank you.